iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the limited iRacing Outlaw Super Late Model Series. Tonight, I am Brett the Jet on the mic here covering tonight's racing action for race number 1 of this season. Tonight, we got a 10-race season on our hands, but tonight's round number 1 here at Hickory will be doing 150 laps as we take a look at the timing scoring here from qualifying right now. The quick time at the moment is Tristan Newman in the 50 machine. We'll see if anyone can beat that time as we look for some cars out on track here in the second half of qualifying. Right now, we look at the 2 machine of Ethan Johnson. Also, Jacob York in the 97 machine. Getting that thing up to speed. We will have to see what the 97 can do here as he starts his first time lap here. Now here at Hickory, it's a little bit of a weird track, folks, as it is very tough, as you can see, to put the power down first and foremost. As well as these corners, you know, you really got to hit a lay apex to get that time right. So we see Jacob reset here, try and get that thing, keep in the right direction as he gets ready for a second time lap. So this first time lap will not count, so he will get one shot at it here as he comes off of turn number 4 for his one and only time lap for Jacob York. This time a better run off of 2 there, keeps the power down. He heads into 3 and 4 for the final time, his one and only time lap. And the 97 machine will go P number 2, just 200ths off of quick time. So a very solid effort from the 97 machine with only one single lap. Right now we have about 7 cars on the premise here tonight, so a little bit light for the first showing, but that is because, you know, iRacing is being iRacing tonight and providing some sort of difficulty. So we will keep the racing action on here as qualifying is starting to wrap on up. So far, no one else on track, so looks like Tristan Newman still the quick time with a 13.73. And tonight, the name of the game is going to be keeping that right rear underneath him. We saw the difficulty there in qualifying. These drivers going to try and keep those tires under them for 150 laps around this place. So we'll see drivers probably start off on the conservative side and slowly turn up the wick as the tires continue to wear. Now, while we got a second, we'll go over tonight's race information. Of course, Hickory does not have a track map there, but it's a .34, so right around a 3/8 mile track here. The two ends, even though they look pretty similar, are driven very differently. Like I said, this track, a very late apex, but 3 and 4, a little bit more sweeping than 1 and 2, so we'll see how these drivers navigate this tonight. Also, we got to give a big shout out to making the series possible. That is, of course, by Premier Dental Arts. If you're looking for some dental work, be sure to check them out. Also, if you're looking for some graphic designs, be sure to check out bgdesigns.com. Excuse me, BG Racing Designs, and that is by BG Design. So if you're trying to have something look top notch, be sure to check them on out. As qualifying wraps up here, Tristan Newman picks up pole number 1 of this season. He'll start on the front row. Speaking about the front row, let's go over tonight's starting order. Starting on pole, it's the 50 machine of Tristan Newman. Starting to his outside, we saw his qualifying effort. It is the 97 machine of Jacob York. Starting in row number 2 will be the 3 of Eli Lewis. Starting to his outside will be Ethan Johnson in the 2. In row number 3 will be Blaine Harrison in the 7. Starting to his outside is Braden Goddard in the 38. And rounding out the field, who I think may miss the call for the start, it is the 10 machine of Brendan Carroll rounding out the field. As the pace car drives away, we get ready to do battle for 150 laps around this place. Also, a cool note to keep in mind, it won't be implemented tonight as this is the first race, but any previous week's winners will have to start at the tail of the following week. So something to keep in mind here, folks, for deeper in the season and maybe for some play, or excuse me, for the points run. Be sure to keep that in mind, as whoever wins tonight will have to start at the back of the field for next season, or next race. As the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car, we are going green next time by. The 50 machine of Tristan York will lead us to green flag racing action here. As the pace car dives down pit road, the 97 right on the outside, and we are green flag racing here. As the 50 machine big time sideways into 1 and collects the 2 almost up and over. That will bring out the yellow flag number 1, and folks, we are under yellow quickly with 2 pretty damaged race cars, as we saw the 50 machine of our pole sitter Tristan Newman get a little bit loose in 1 and 2 and then end up losing it off of 2 and collects the 2 of Ethan Johnson. Luckily, folks, if that involved your favorite driver, they do have some fast repairs. What that means is the drivers can come into pits and pretty much get a brand new race car, get back out there on track and continue racing. As we watch the 50 machine here start to get loose into turn number 1. Tries to save it, but these super late models are so light, so much left side weight. He had too much wheel to the right, and it snaps around on him just in the path of Ethan Johnson. So a tough break early for both of these cars, but both of them using up the fast repair early, getting back out there on track. As caution laps are counting here, folks, so that means it looks like the 2 machine will be just 1 lap down, so he'll get the lucky dog if we get another yellow flag. As it looks like the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car here. We'll be going green next time by, folks. This time, Jacob York in the 97 machine here will be leading us to green. To his outside will be Eli Lewis as the pace car dives down pit road. We'll wait for the 97 machine to fire on off. He does, and we are back green flag racing. We got the 7 of Blaine Harrison looking to the inside. Thinks better of it, but will get around the 3 heading into 3. The 3 machine gives a bump back. He'll take over the position. Now the 7 of Blaine will be under fire from our pole sitter, Tristan Newman. Folks, once these tires do get up to temp, these cars calm on down, but right now they are very loose at these cold and low tire pressures. So about 5 laps of green flag action, these tires will start to come into their own. As we see the 7 of Blaine Harrison big time sideways. Same with the 50 of Tristan Newman. And it looks like he will jump off here as we do hit the yellow flag. And we'll take a look at the 50 machine of Tristan Newman. Once again, sideways off the corner. And he says goodbye. So it looks like he will be done for tonight here early. That would be the 50 machine. As now we'll go pick up from the front here. Jacob York continuing to lead the way here as we can complete lap 10 of 150. And right about now the tires should be starting to come up to temp into the right spot. So we should see this clean on up for the most part, as these drivers know this is a long race ahead of him here, as you can clearly tell with only lap 10 of 150 completed. You see the 2 of Ethan Johnson here jumping around the outside. He will be the lucky dog. As up front, it looks like the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. The 97 machine of Jacob York elects to restart on the high lane this time, so we'll see how this impacts him in his race, see if this outside line is preferred. You'd think you want to restart at the bottom. There's a little bit of contact there at the start. The 3 machine of Eli gets big time sideways. He'll lose 2, maybe 3 spots, and now the 2 of Ethan Johnson right on his tail. The 38 machine of Brandon Goddard also there in this pack, but up front Jacob York trying to set sail here and get some clean laps. Out in front is the 2 machine of Ethan Johnson, big time sideways. He keeps that thing straight. We stay green flag racing. As now I would assume that the tires are getting back up to racing temperatures, so we'll see how these drivers can navigate. But this track, very notorious for some wheel spin, especially out the right rear, as we see Ethan Johnson with an issue, and our leader Jacob York big time sideways, and the 38 just gets a piece of him as well. That'll bring out a yellow flag for a 3rd time tonight, with a whole bunch of cars off the pace and spinning, as I believe the yellow started the yellow started with, I think, the 3 of Eli Lewis. Everyone spinning on out here into 1 and 2, so not sure if maybe the 2 car put down some fluid or what happened. As you see the 97 on the left side of your screen sideways, same with the 3, and the 38 just gets a piece of him. I think just gets a piece of the 97 too, so I'm pretty sure every car maybe with a little bit of damage. But now for this next restart, the number 7 machine of Blaine Harrison looks like will be leading us to green. Starting to his outside will be the 38 of Braden Goddard. As it looks like the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. We go back to green flag racing action here. Blaine Harrison with a good restart. Braden Goddard able to slot in the 2nd spot as Blaine gets big time sideways. That opens up the door for the 3 to Eli Lewis, as both 2nd and 1st got way loose, had to wait to jump on the throttle. As a 7 machine, maybe he definitely did get the wall there down the front stretch, so we will keep an eye on him. But we stay green flag racing here as Jacob York slots back into the 3rd spot here. As you can just tell, folks, this car is a handful around this place, as we see the 38 of Braden Goddard get sideways. And not sure if it's a setup, the car, or the track, but definitely something is off with this one of those 3 tonight, as this thing is a handful right at the apex, right when the drivers have the most wheel in these cars, right before jumping on the throttle. So that's why this is proving to be so difficult. Almost, I want to say, slow is faster with this combo tonight, as we see our leader get loose down the front stretch. He'll spin it out and bring out our fourth caution. That would be the 3 of Eli Lewis. We'll take a look and see what happened. As we see our leader head off of 4 and just, get a little bit loose, and then tries to correct it, and that upsets the balance of the race car enough to spin him out sideways. Luckily, keeps that thing off all the walls, keeps it straight for the most part, and will continue on with his race. But once again, that will leave Blaine Harrison as our lead car for this restart. So while we got a second, we will talk about some of the drivers in the field. So one driver we'll highlight here very quickly is the 38 machine of Braden Goddard. He's racing for the BG Racing. Of course, sponsors for him tonight, and I assume all season long, will be Premier Dental Arts, Quality Heat and Air, and of course BG Designs. Also, some iRacing accomplishments for this 38 machine is the Limited iRacing Series, Limited Late Model Series champion. He's 4th place overall in the rookie season at King Sports Speedway. He won April 29, 2022, and he has 3 podium finishes. So, a little bit of info from these drivers here as we continue to stay under yellow. One of his most memorable iRacing moments is his first win on the sim. Always a good one. Those ones are always special. Also, his favorite iRacing car and track combo is what we're racing on tonight, folks. Hickory Motor Speedway with the super late models. And tonight, and his goal for the season, as this is round number 1 of 10, is to, by the end of it, be the points champion. As we look at our race restart leader, that would be the 7 of Blaine Harrison. He will start from the high line, get a huge run on the field, and he'll clear himself into 1. We see a battle for second, he not up, as Eli Lewis, as maybe a little bit of contact there. The 38 machine goes around, maybe off the nose of the 2, but we stay green flag race in action. As the 97 of Jacob York trying to reel down our leader in the 7. Same with Eli Lewis right there as well, not too far back. And then a big time gap to our 4th place runner, Ethan Johnson, and we saw the trouble early on that restart for Braden Goddard. He runs now in the 5th position. As folks, just to prove how tough this track is, as we get a yellow flag right before I was going to say, and it looks like the 3 machine of Eli Lewis has brought out the most recent yellow. We'll take a look at and see what happened is, he was definitely way high into 3, probably up in the marbles, and that car just goes around right in front of the 2 machine. Once again, keeps it off the walls, so that is always a good thing with bringing out the yellow, is if you can keep that car clean from that incident to bring it on out. As folks, if you're tuning in, watching your favorite race driver, be sure to leave us a comment. Who you're cheering on tonight, who do you think will end up winning this race, as we've seen a whole bunch of lead changes here early with drivers just trying to keep these cars underneath them, so it could be anyone's race when it's all said and done. Looks Looks like my buddy Zane out there in the YouTube chat land. Zane, how you doing tonight? Glad you could join us. As we just click over to lap 35 of 150. The lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. We re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to go back to green flag racing action. Once again, the restart being held by the 7 machine decides to pick the outside lane. Last time got a great start from up there. We'll see if he can do it again here. As he jumps on the loud pedal, we go back to green flag racing action. The 3 machine of Eli Lewis hard into the outside wall. You saw him get a whole bunch of wheel spin down that front stretch. Tries to keep that car underneath him, but gets the wall into one pretty good there as we see the 38 machine big time sideways in 3 and 4, able to keep that thing underneath him as well. So it looks like our front 2 about 0.4 of a second off of each other. Make that now 3 as one car sideways back there. It's the 2 machine of Ethan Johnson. He'll throw that thing in reverse, try and get that thing back up to speed, but we look at the battle for the race lead as Jacob York trying to make some moves on the 7 of Blaine Harrison. Jacob York driving it in there deep. You saw how loose he got that car. Really had to wait to jump on the throttle, so now he'll try and re-rack it and re-attack the race lead. As we'll jump on board with Jacob York here and see how difficult it is to get around this place. As we see Jacob York big time sideways there. Has to put a lot of wheel in to correct it, but somehow keeps that thing in the right direction. As I believe we are back under yellow flag here. We'll go to and double check here, but yeah, I believe, yep, under yellow flag here once again. And I believe it may have involved the 2, also the 3 car also around as well. So a whole bunch of issues for some cars, but I think initially what brought it on out was the 38 machine of Braden Goddard. But we saw a few other cars get some issues as well as they're blowing it on down. As the lights are out on the iRacing pace car, we'll go back to racing action once again. The 7 machine of Blaine Harrison will lead us to green flag. Jacob York once again to the inside will try and challenge for the race lead here as we wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. Now the 7 machine will jump on a little bit of contact, but able to keep that thing underneath him and prevent the wheel spin as he able to clear himself into one. A battle for 3rd place is unfolding with Eli Lewis able to clear the 38 machine. As the 38 machine losing some traction there, trying to keep that thing underneath him. That will open up the 2 of Ethan Johnson to his inside. As they will get themselves sorted out, but battle for the race lead. And once again, we'll jump on board with Jacob York and see him try and reel down our race leader as he gets the wall big time down the backstretch. And we'll go on board for the BG Designs onboard shot from Jacob York, running in second, trying to run down tonight's race leader. As folks, it looks like we are back under yellow flag, so we will have to try and see what happened to bring out this most recent yellow. It looks like maybe the 3 machine of Ethan Lewis was involved in this one, so we'll take a look and see what happened to him as he heads into turn number 3. Yeah, off of turn number 4, just too much wheel, too much throttle, and that will send that thing sideways on the racing surface, and that will bring out our yellow flag as we just pass a third of the way completion in this race. Still up front, the racing orders looking like the following. Blaine Harrison in the 7 continues to lead the way. Jacob York in the 97 machine in second. Eli Lewis in third in the 3. Fourth is Braden Goddard in the 38. And rounding out the top 5 will be Ethan Johnson in the 2. As iRacing pace car heads down pit road, we are back green flag racing action. This time the 7 of Blaine does not get away as good. That will hand over the race lead to the 97 machine of Jacob York. Now Blaine will be the car chase, and we'll see what he can do. The 97 looked pretty sporty. Same with the 7, so let's see if clean air matters as they continue to race on around here. And the 2 big time sideways in 1 and 2. And the 3 able to keep off of him, but they will lose that first pack here as they continue to spread on out. These guys just trying to keep these race cars underneath them here for 150 laps. A very tall order with this setup, with how loose it is seeming, especially from up here in the booth. As we see the 2 machine get big time sideways, he dives down pit road, and that will keep us green flag as Eli Lewis just squeaks on by. As up front we got a battle for the race lead. Blaine Harrison takes over the race lead from Jacob York. So now Jacob York will try and chase down the 7 machine once again. Not sure if he had some sort of a drive off issue or if maybe the 7 machine just had a good run, but he's able to get around these 2 still going at it here as I believe the 3 machine of Eli Lewis off the pace and will bring out the 8th yellow tonight. As we get picked up by the iRacing pace car here, we'll go to commercial break. We'll be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We are back here at Hickory Motor Speedway here for race number 1. As the lights do get extinguished on the iRacing pace car, we are going green next time by. Once again, Blaine Harrison will lead us to green. He lost the lead on the last restart. Let's see if the 7 machine can get a better restart from that top lane. As the pace car heads on in, Blaine gets a fantastic restart out in front, about a half a second lead over second by the time they head into turn number 1. So Blaine got the restart he needed to there. It seemed like the 97 machine, has some really good short run speed, but I don't know if he starts burning up those tires or if he's maybe a Snicker bar racer where he runs better with a car right in front of him. But now the 7 has a bobble. The 97 looks to the inside. They go side by side for the race lead here in 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they come in, the 7 machine of Blaine able to clear him, so the 7 will retake the lead. But the 97 getting some fantastic runs down the front stretch. He'll look to the inside again, but the 7 will keep his momentum up on that top lane as they make contact for the race lead. The 7 machine almost goes around both cars. The 97 will let him regain in both cars with some damage with that contact though. So these guys going at it for the race lead as once again the 97 machine dives it down to the inside of the 7 into 3. They go side by side at the front stretch here as Blaine Harrison, has that top side. You can roll the middle of the corner a little bit faster, but more importantly, you get those straighter runs off. It's only going to be a matter of time before that 97 will break traction, but that time the 7 breaks big time traction. He tries to save that race car and does. That's an impressive save into 1. So Jacob York will take over the race lead here in that 97 machine once again. As in third place, a little bit further back, is Braden Goddard in that 38 machine, just hanging on, keeping that car in the right direction as we see him big time sideways into 3 there. As Jacob York continues to lead the way here as we are back under yellows. Oh my goodness, almost an incident for our race leader as one car tries to get it on righted, and that's the 2 of Ethan Johnson, bringing out the most recent yellow. Also, it looks like the 3 machine of Eli Lewis has brought that car behind the wall, so it looks like we'll have about 4 cars out on track when it's all said and done. This time by under yellow flag, we'll see cross flags from the flagman halfway down, halfway home in this season opener for the LIS Outlaw Super Series. As this time by, the lights will be extinguished on the iRacing pace car. Jacob York will lead us to green flag race in action, as he will elect to start on the inside line. As we will wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. Now the 97 will jump on the loud pedal, bring us to green flag race in action for the second half of this race. We see the leader get big time sideways trying to drive that car in deep, and that will give up the race lead to the 7 machine of Blaine Harrison. Braden Goddard also able to get around the 97. He will slot into the second position here As now the 97 all over the back bumper of the 38. He'll look to the inside down the backstretch. And Jacob York will reclaim second. Now we'll try and set the sights on the race leader in that 7 machine. With that 7 machine running, we'll jump on board with him and see how he's getting around this place here as the 97 closing the gap in that rear view. This is the Premier Dental Arts on board with our race leader. And just watching that wheel, folks, it seems like these drivers mostly turning right then left, almost acting like we're on a dirt track as we see Blaine get big time sideways into one. That opens up the door for Jacob. Now Blaine will be on the hunt for the race lead here once again. It looks like we are back under yellow flag here once again at the Hickory Motor Speedway, and looks like problems for the number 2 machine of Ethan Johnson as he stopped on the inside of the track. So we are back under yellow flag here on lap now 86 of 150 for tonight's 10th caution. As the pace car is in pit road, we are back green flag racing here at Hickory. The 97 machine of Jacob York gets away cleanly here up front, but has to lift and hits the wall big time. Our leader spinning out in front of the field, and somehow that does not bring out a yellow flag. We stay green flag racing action as Blaine Harrison takes back over the race lead. Braden Goddard right on his back bumper here though, so we'll have to see how this works on out for these two. As you gotta wonder how much damage was done to that 97 machine. We saw him hit that wall with a ton of force as well as climb it, so you gotta wonder if that rear end is even straight in that 97 machine as he struggles with the handling on that race car. But up front, Blaine Harrison continues to try and put clean laps down as Braden Goddard gets sideways there, keeps the car facing the right direction. We continue to stay green flag here. Now Blaine has no pressure down in his rear view mirror, so now he can set that thing on cruise control and hope that he doesn't see another yellow flag here. As Jacob York is keeping about the same pace as our second place runner, Braden Goddard. That time by though a little bit faster than second place, so the 97 machine should be able to catch him as the 38 did catch a little bit of lap traffic of the 2 machine. And with that bobble, that will close the gap very rapidly between second and third, as now Jacob York sees him in his sights as he's able to get around the 2 car there off of turn number 4. Now the battle for second within within a second of each other, closing now to half a second. As it looks like the 2 car with a bit of an issue off of turn number 4. I think he's able to get that thing off the racing surface, and now we'll get that thing up to speed, but the battle for second will continue here as now Braden able to get in a rhythm here. Braden Goddard currently in the second position tonight. I think the best he has been tonight position-wise, but does have Jacob York now slowly closing the gap here, at least on corner exit. That 97 machine very good at putting that power down where that 97 machine is struggling. His corner entry, as we see the 38 gets sideways, collects the 2 as well, but not fully sideways as we stay green flag racing here. But now the 7, our race leader, is catching these guys, so now the 38 has to be weary of going a lap down here. As that time by, we hit lap 101, so we're in the triple digit laps already. This race is flying on by here as these drivers are doing about, I want to say, 14.5-second laps. So these laps very clicking on by as we get another yellow flag. This time the 2 machine will bring it on out, so this will bunch up the field, and this is the break Braden Goddard needed to stay on the lead lap. The leader was about a quarter track behind him, so that is what he needed to see here. As we'll throw it to commercial break and be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We are back here at the Hickory Motor Speedway, and folks, we have a little bit of a shakeup. You see the 7 car get a brand new race car. He was down on pit road. He decides to put some fresh tires on that thing as well. So for this restart, the 38 machine of Braden Goddard will lead us to green flag race in action, but the 7 will have fresh tires and a brand new race car. Also in that same boat is the 97 machine of Jacob York. So these guys saving that fast repair till now to try and use it and see if they can go the rest of the way green flag here. As the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car, the 2 car will get waved around. Looks like the 38 will elect to restart on the top lane. That will put the 7 car down low. And the 97 kind of on his own right behind him can choose where he wants to restart as we wait for the iRacing pace car to jump down pit road. And the 38 will lead us to green flag for the first time tonight. He jumps on the loud pedal. We are back racing. Had a little bit of trouble getting through the gears as these 2 drivers right here, the 7 and the 97, on fresh tires. So these guys got to be a little bit careful with breaking these cold tires in. But if they can, they will have some very fast laps here for these closing stages. As this time by, the 7 machine will see 40 laps to go. 40 more times around this joint for race number 1 of the limited iRacing series, Outlaw Super Late Models. As we see the 97 machine of Jacob York closing the gap to the 7. You got to wonder how damaged that car was as the 7 big time sideways into 1. He will lose control of that race car. We will stay green flag racing. He will lose also second position to the 38, but not what the 7 wanted to see, as I think just too much rear brake there, or just slightly overdrove it, and that thing stepped out immediately on him. He had to just hang on for the ride, as that was an impossible save to make, and I think the 7 got out of there as cleanly as he could. Just a little bit of contact to that inside wall. Now he'll try and set his sights on our second place runner, the 38 machine of Braden Goddard. As the 7 machine is closing the gap for second place here on that 38 machine. 38 with a bit of a bobble there, and will leave the door open for the 7. So Blaine able to get back into P number 2. Now the question is, does he have the pace to reel in our leader, who's about 2 seconds up in front? This first lap already about a 10th shaved on off. The question is, the 97 machine on cruise control up there, just trying to click off as many laps as he can. And with a little bit of time here, we're going to go turn it over for the turn 3, crank it up. I'm going to go take a break from talking and let these cars do a little bit of talking around Hickory Motor Speedway. I'll be right back. As it looks like, folks, we are back under the yellow flag conditions here, as we will take it on over and see what may have brought out this most recent yellow. Looks like the 2 machine stuck on that inside wall, so that will, of course, bring out the most recent yellow for the 12th time here tonight, as it looks like his night might be done up on that tire cell. Looks like the 2 machine will end up finishing in the 4th position, but now we're inside of 30 laps to go, and this is the break the 7 car needed, able to bunch up to the race leader. So the win is still in anyone's hands here, as we still got a lot of racing action still to be had. As this time by, we'll probably see the 1 to go for this restart. The lights should get extinguished on the iRacing pace car, as maybe that won't be the case. But once again, the 97 machine of Jacob York will lead us to green flag racing. This is a full yellow, folks, probably to allow the 2 machine to get safely off the racetrack, get all the crew to get out there and clean up the racetrack, make sure it's safe to go out here and race. But the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. We'll wait for it to jump on in, and the 97 machine will jump on the loud pedal here. We go back to green flag racing action here at Hickory, as a 7 machine right on the back bumper of the 97 here. The 97 needed to get through 1 and 2 cleanly there, as that has been his biggest problem here tonight, and he's able to do that. So now the 7 will have a tough time getting on around him here, as this time by at the start finish line, we'll see 25 laps to go, 24 more times around Hickory for race number 1, as the 7 dives to the inside. A little bit of lap traffic just rolling out of pits. That will hurt the 7, as he'll have to back on out of it and retry another attack. As that time, big time wheel spin for our 2nd place runner. He picks up a little bit of right side damage because of it, and that will give Jacob a little bit of breathing room here. As cars out on track, it goes the following: Jacob York leading the way, Blaine Harrison in 2nd, big time sideways in 3 and 4 there, and 3rd will be Braden Goddard in the 38 machine, and running in the 4th position is the 2 of Ethan Johnson. As a little bit of wheel spin from our race leader, you heard that thing really rev on up there. This track is very abrasive, as well as that it's very bumpy, so it's hard to put down the power. As we get a yellow flag, it looks like the 7 machine of Blaine Harrison bringing it on out. We'll take a look at the replay and see what may have happened to bring out this most recent yellow flag. As we see the 7 machine head through turns 1 and 2 and already out of the racing groove, a little bit high up on track. We'll try and put the power down off of 2. And oh man, heavy impact with that right front to that 7 machine. That's definitely worthy to bring it in and get some damage repaired. So he will do that, and I'll hand over the second place to the 38 machine on this restart. As we are now inside of 20 laps to go. I think this time by they'll try and go back to race in action. We will see from the top of the pace lights. They go out here off of turn number 2. So we are going green this time by the front row being made up of Jacob York in the first position. Braden Goddard in second. And third will be Blaine Harrison as we wait for the 97 machine jump on the loud pedal. He does. We are back, green flag, race in action in the late stages of this race. Blaine Harrison, I assume, has some fresh tires. For sure has a fresh race car. We'll see if he can challenge for the race lead as he is right on the back bumper of that 97 machine. We'll keep an eye on tonight's battle for the race win. As it looks like the 7 able to roll the middle just a little bit better than the 97 machine, but the 97 machine doing what he needs to do, hitting those marks, being consistent, and most importantly, putting the power down off these corners, not allowing the 7 car to get a big run on him. As we see the 7 really driving it in there deep, trying to get everything he can out of that race car. As now we see him straddling that yellow line there, trying to use maybe a little bit of the banking difference as well as trying to just find any sort of traction he can. Try and give him a little bit of an advantage over our race leader because he is right there. But he's got to wait for a mistake from our race leader, which will be a tall order to ask for. As the race lead separated right about 0.3 of a second, or about 3 car lengths down these straightaways. Definitely closes on corner entry, but the 97 able to get away each and every lap very cleanly. As this time by, we'll see 2 open palms from the flagman. 10 laps to go here as the 97 machine still under fire for this race lead from the 7. These guys are duking it on out, and you see Blaine continuing to struggle with that right rear grip. He's trying everything he can to try and put down that power down just a little bit sooner than our race leader, but now that right rear is definitely way hot on that 7 car. He's got to take it easy for a few laps, try and cool off that right rear, and then mount one final attack here as we are inside of 10 laps to go. But Jacob York knows what he has to do, which is continue to keep that car facing the right direction. Don't make any big mistakes. And he is doing just that as Blaine continues to close the gap here once again, able to cool off that right rear, but will it be enough here? As he's got to close about 1/10 a lap to have a shot, as he's about 1/2 second back now as they head off of turn number 4 and see 5 laps to go around this place. Also there in the distance is Braden Goddard trying to stay on the lead lap here just in front of these leaders, as it looks like the 7 machine struggling a little bit on handling, but will continue to send it on in, especially into 1. He's able to make up a ton of time just with that, but the question is, can those tires handle it here for 3 more laps around this place? Jacob York had his issues, was all throughout this field tonight, but right now leading the way. Same with Blaine Harrison, both drivers with an up and down night, but run 1-2 respectively. As that time by, we see popsicle sticks up in the air. We have 2 more laps to go around this place as the 7 of Blaine Harrison, big time sideways, He continues to spin it on around, keeps it straight with backing it into the wall. He just has to hang on now just to second, and Jacob York, that's what he wanted to see in his rear view. Now has no pressure behind him, can cruise on through 3 and 4 and pick up the win for the inaugural for race number 1 of the season. Jacob York will get it done. He will pick up the win. Blaine Harrison in the 7 machine in second, and Braden Goddard in the 38 machine will pick up the 3rd place. So we will now keep an eye on the 97 machine, see if he wants to burn it on down for the fans here at Hickory. Looks like he'll park it in victory circle, and yes, he'll burn it on down here on the front stretch. So we will let him have his moment here, but don't go anywhere as we'll be talking to the top 3 after the race. We'll be right back on the other side with our commercial. Don't go anywhere.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here on the other side now. We'll try and dial up our 3rd place finisher, that being Braden Goddard in the 38 machine. We'll see if he's got a copy here. Hey, Braden, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, I got you.
Alrighty, man. A very eventful night for every single one of the drivers. Definitely a race of attrition. Tell us a little bit about your race, and man, that seemed like a handful out there.
Yeah, it definitely was a handful. Where iRacing had an update, I don't know if they did something to the supers or not, but our setup went from great to horrible. It's messed up a lot of people's iRacing, so car count was absolutely horrible tonight. But I mean, there's nothing they can do about it. We've had about 5 to 6 people tell us they couldn't join because of either internet issues or iRacing. So hopefully iRacing gets that fixed.
Yeah, that is a big time bummer to hear from you, Braden. As yeah, definitely looked like a handful tonight. Tell us a little bit about your race. It definitely was up and down tonight, but able to walk away in the 3rd place. I bet you're just happy to walk away with a pretty solid finish.
Yeah, definitely. It was one handful of a night. The car was very loose all over. Heck, we were probably turned about 10th place times with our normal field. We shouldn't be in 3rd place, but we're still there. So we'll go from there and improve for next week.
Yep, that is the name of the game. Just out here surviving, especially race number 1. You know, a lot of racing still to be had as we still got to do this 9 more times. But Braden, before we let you go and celebrate your podium position here tonight, I'll hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 38 crew.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Don Gray Reynolds and Quality Heat and Air and Permanent Arts. Not only are they some of my real life sponsors, but they're also virtual sponsors, so they support us every attribute of our racing career. So I'd like to thank them.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Braden. Hopefully we'll be talking to you some more here in the future as this season continues to continue its course. But you have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll see you again next week.
You too.
Alrighty, folks, that was our 3rd place finisher in the 38 machine, Braden Goddard. Now we'll try and dial up our 2nd place finisher. That was Blaine Harrison in the 7 machine. Blaine, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Howdy, buddy.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, this race was definitely a race of attrition. Tell us a little bit about your night. Definitely up and down, but you come home in the 2nd position. You got to be pretty happy with just surviving with that.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely a shame about the car count. We had a good car in the end, just got a little loose, got over our head right there in the end. Probably we're going to give it York a good run for his money, but man, that guy's machine was hooked up. just all hats off to him.
Yeah, I tell you what, Blaine, you and Jacob York had yourselves a great battle all night long. You guys were duking it out. Wasn't sure who was going to walk away with the win here tonight. It could have been anyone's race, but I tell you what, Blaine, I gotta ask, how were you able to drive that thing in so deep into one there? It seemed like you could make up a ton of time lap after lap, especially into turn number 1.
Definitely just tire conserving the whole race pretty much. Just try to conserve as much as we could. And I feel like we had more in the end, and I just had a lot of bite. I had a lot of forward bite, and so I could drive it in there, and I feel like I could lean on the car a little bit right there. But I mean, it just helped a lot right there in one.
Yeah, Blaine, and we saw you use up, I think, both your fast repairs tonight. Definitely a race of attrition. Did you end up taking any tires during those pit stops as well?
No, we actually stayed on the same for the whole night. Like I said, just tire conservative the whole night, and it helped out in the end. But I just got over my head right there.
Yep, a tough break to finish second, but like I said, both you and Jacob had the cars to beat tonight, so walking away with second, especially with this tough setup, it seemed like underneath the cars tonight, can't be too disappointed with that.
Oh no, I really got to thank all my sponsors, man. I got to thank Twin City Motor Exchange, Kid Tire, LB Harrison Trucking, New River Economy Drug, Friends of Cole. Just got to thank everybody out there.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff from you, Blaine. From this first night, it definitely seems like we'll be talking to you some more in the future here, as it seemed like you had some pretty good speed in that 7 machine. So, Blaine, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and congrats once again on this runner-up finish.
All right, thank you, man.
Alrighty, folks, that was our second place finisher. Now we'll dial up our driver down in victory lane. That would be Jacob York in the 97 machine. We'll see if he's got a copy here. Jacob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here. Jacob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, got to congratulate you on the big win here tonight. It definitely seemed like a race of attrition. How was this 97 car? Man, how'd you keep that thing facing more times forwards than backwards?
I just knew with the low car count and iRacing messing with the setup, unfortunately, it was going to be a hectic night, and keeping the tires and keeping your wheels straight was going to be important, and I just made sure to ride all night and really just save everything for the end.
Yeah, that definitely seemed to be the name of the game, saving your stuff till the very end when it counted. And Jacob, I got to ask, how stressful was it that last restart knowing the 7 machine is right on your tail and with a fresh car, and then, all that pressure behind you with this tough setup underneath you?
Yeah, Blaine's a really good young driver, and he's making leaps and bounds every week on improvement, and I knew he'd have something for us there at the end, and just keeping it straight, like I said, was what paid off. I saw he got loose off 2 with, I think, 2 to go or coming to the white, and that's really what sealed the deal for us. I think he was faster, but consistency prevailed.
Yep, that definitely is the name of the game, especially with these super late models here on iRacing, Jacob. And yeah, speaking about that incident, you see Blaine get big time sideways in your rearview mirror. What was kind of going through your head? Probably put in cruise control, and hopefully you see that white flag.
Yeah, I was just hoping for no yellow, and it didn't come out. Got to the white, and from that point on, I knew we had a good enough cushion to where we could just ride. And then the lap car there spun in front of us, but luckily we were able to get around it.
Yep, able to get on around it and park it down in victory lane for race number 1 of the season. So, Jacob, congratulations on the first place. Gotta mean a lot for you, especially with this race, how difficult this setup was. But before we let you go and celebrate down there, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank here for this 97 team.
I just can't thank Holston River Machine Shop, my mom, my dad, and everybody that's just had a hand in on my race career. Can't thank Braden and all the admins for putting this series on. I'd really like to see some more cars. Hopefully next week iRacing won't give us as many problems and we can get that car count back up. And thank you for putting on a good broadcast.
Alrighty, Jacob. Well, it's been a pleasure up here in the booth. You guys did put on a great race, especially for the race lead. So I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more in the future. But tonight, you have yourself a great one, and I'll be down in victory lane after I wrap up in the booth here.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, folks. That was our race winner, the 97 machine of Jacob York, getting it done for race number 1. So, folks, we had an interesting one here tonight, to say the least. A really big race of attrition, but we were able to get it done and wrapped up. So, race number 1 in the books. We'll go through tonight's finishing results. Jacob York able to park it in victory lane in that 97 machine. Bringing it home second is Blaine Harrison in the 7. Third will be Braden Goddard in the 38 machine. Fourth goes to Ethan Johnson in the 2. Eli Lewis, with his struggles there, will end up parking it. He will finish in the top 5 in 5th. Tristan Newman, our pole sitter here, will finish in 6th in the 50 machine. And Brandon Carroll in the 10 missed the call to action. He will finish in the 7th position. So, folks, this will do it for race number 1 of the limited iRacing Outlaw Super Late Model Series. Be sure to tune in next week. Same time, same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network to catch all your favorite drivers racing. Again, of course, got to shout out all the league sponsors that make this happen, that being Premier Dental Arts and BG Design. So, folks, I've been Brett the Jet here in the booth calling the racing action tonight. Be sure to check out Turn 3 Racing Network for all your racing needs throughout the week. We're broadcasting at least 5 nights a week, so be sure to check us on out if you want to see some great racing action on track. Everyone stay safe, have a good one, and we'll catch you all next week. I have been Brett the Jet here, and just remember, just flew by you. Have a good one.